Chris, what were you told about Justin? Or what did he have? What's he have?
I wasn't told anything, but I'm just assuming it was a concussion because I asked could he play, and then I saw him real briefly at halftime. But I don't want to say that because no one told me that word, but I'm assuming it's a concussion. I was told immediately that he wasn't going to be able to play the rest of the game. And I was told he's back there begging people to play. So that's Justin Gray.
And I guess you've had to answer this question first about Zach and then about Keenan and now today. How do you adjust on the fly, and what did you lose when you lose him? What you kind of have to make up for?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Like there's two ways to handle that. The coaching cliches, next man up and all that stuff, but I always think there's like a human element. I feel bad for those players. Keenan worked so hard to get himself in this position and that he can't play at full speed, but we got a lot of season left. We'll see what happens there. Really proud of Zach, fighting back and playing today. He was engaged, and I thought he played like a warrior. And I don't care what the stat sheet says, man. When you're out for a couple months and you don't even get to practice and you're rehabbing, and then your first game's got to be against Kansas, I thought Zach played. I have a lot of respect for Zach. I had a lot coming into this game, but I even have more now. And then with Justin Gray, I think he's – if there's an MVP on our team, it might be Justin. The guy has changed his game every year he's been in college, and he's our ultimate glue guy. He's our best defender, our best rebounder per position. He scores big baskets. We beat Kansas a few weeks ago. Justin starts the game and hits 7 or 8 points, and that was kind of our plan today. And we didn't have that luxury to having Justin out there, but. Shit, it sucks down. We don't have these players down the stretch, but it's a team game, and we'll figure out a way to put our guys in a position to keep competing this season. But we miss those players.
So, Coach, with Keenan, Zach, and Justin weren't at 100%, and some weren't playing. How vital was it that Zaire and Jarrett go out there and they go toe to toe with two of the most experienced seniors in the Big 12?
It's always important in every game that every guy on your team plays your best. March is right around the corner, and this thing's all about everybody on your roster contributing, your team playing the best you can. And I think we did that tonight, guys. If one of those shots doesn't go in, it's late at the shot clock, we're sitting in here and we're popping piñatas and we're having a party. But that's not the way basketball works. They made more shots than us, and so now we're kind of the agony of defeat. But I'm really proud of our team tonight. We out-rebound Kansas. We play a low-turnover game. We overcome adversity. We got guys playing not at full strength. We had a great crowd tonight. I'm really, really proud of our guys. But I think, too, we got to talk about Kansas. Let's don't let the story be that we're a little bit undermanned, because I'm sure they have their own issues. I'm sure they've got guys that are banged up and stuff, but you're never going to hear that from a Hall of Fame coach. They played great. This is what they do. Every year they're in this position. They're well coached. They don't beat themselves. Their guys make plays. They play in this kind of environment almost every game. So we have a lot of respect for them. But we intend to be a part of the fight. This year we were a part of the fight in our 2 games with them. We split. Maybe we'll get another crack at them in Kansas City. We'll see. But, we're just getting started building the program here. And we intend to be a part of the fight just like we were today for many years to come. Yeah, that's what they do. Kansas is the team that can go on runs, and they can stop runs. They're well coached, and their best players, make plays when they need them most. And so, obviously, they're, Graham, and I don't know how to say his name. I don't want to disrespect him, but Savi. I hope I'm saying that right. Those 2 guys played great. I don't know what Coach Self said, and I'm too busy to wonder because I got to figure out how to play West Virginia, but. Knowing Coach Self, I would assume that he told you guys that they played well tonight, and I would assume that he told you that we played really well too. I know he respects our team like we respect theirs. But yeah, I can't say enough about our guys and how hard we fought tonight. It was a great college basketball game.
I just wanted to ask you about that, Coach. It seemed like every time you got down by 6 or 8 and kind of looked like you were getting ready to kind of get run out a little bit, your guys somehow persevered. Where does that come from, do you think?
That's the mental toughness that we all believe in. That's the grind of, the game's never over, whether you're up or down, and just playing the next play. Every possession's an entity in itself. We don't coach outcome-based. We coach each possession, and our guys have really bought into it. So I would echo and agree with your feeling that our guys play with a lot of grit. You know, just when you thought Kansas might separate, here we come. You know, different guys making different plays, whether it be, you know, a Naeem big-time pass in the second half, a Brandon Francis 3, a Z putback. Tommy was dialed in tonight. So just can't tell you how proud I am to coach this team tonight. There's going to be different days. We're going to be on the other end of these many, many days as we build the program. But tonight you got to tip your hat and respect Kansas for who they are and what they do. But I'm really proud of our players.
Coach, could you talk about Kansas's perimeter success early in the game and how they were able to get some of those open looks and knock down those threes?
Yeah, so Kansas is a team that really, prides himself on three-point shots and layups or dunks. It's a sign of a well-coached team, and their best shooters are the one that shoot the shots. So you kind of got to try to pick and choose what you're going to take away. You want to take away the drive, there's the three. Try to take away the three, then there's the lobs and Azubuike inside. So I thought early, especially early in the game, they were just kind of in a great rhythm. You know, they got us with a ghost screen. I thought our guys were playing really hard and we were dialed in, but maybe a little bit too jacked up to play early, especially with young guys out there. Kansas is like undefeated this year when they win the first 4 minutes of a game. There you go. That's a good stat. Maybe some of y'all don't know, but and so we just kind of wanted to stay around. But I was really pleased with the guys. We made a little comeback there, and at the first media timeout, we had it within range. But Kansas is a team that wins a lot of games in the first 4 or 5 minutes. You guys go back and do your research, and you'll see that.
Chris, in the second half defensively, I mean, their offense really kind of struggled. I think we went about 5 minutes without a field goal. And other than being able to keep Graham in containment, it seemed like you guys did pretty well defensively. Was there anything that changed, or did it just them not making shots?
I think a little both. I think, to say they were just struggling and not mention us would be kind of disrespecting our guys. We were guarding. Made a couple adjustments at halftime, and we came out and played really hard in the second half. So I'd like to think that some of their misses was our defense playing better. And then certainly there's a mathematical deal in this game, right? The averages, they're not going to make every shot like they were early. It's like Oklahoma State the other day on the road. They're not going to make every shot. When that happens, start the bus. It's not your day. But, they ended up right there at that 40% mark where they are, 50% shooting. I mean, it's Kansas. So from our point of view, we would have liked to speed them up a little bit more. We weren't able to do that till late in the game. It's just amazing, too. They've got those players that play 40 and 39 minutes, and they just, their strength coach must be a musician. And, I just got a lot of respect for how tough they are. In our program, we pride ourselves on mental toughness, and I would like to think that people think that we're a pretty tough team. But, I don't think Kansas gets enough credit for how tough they are. Their identity is their talent and their Hall of Fame coach and their great home court, but they also have a big-time toughness to them, and that's what Coach Self's teams were known for at Tulsa. And it's almost like when the players get better, you forget that that's still Bill Self. But, Graham to play 40 minutes and really the way he played late, still making shots with tired legs, they're a tough team.
Coach, you have fans setting up tents at 5 p.m. Yesterday, filling up the arena at 8:30 a.m. How did that set the tone or the mindset for the team, and then moving forward to have the support in Lubbock?
It's awesome. Thanks for the question, because if we'd have won the game, if Graham would have missed one shot and we would have made one, then we're sitting here and it's a different deal. But let's live in the moment. If I'd have told you a couple of years ago we're going to be sitting here and a chance to compete for the title, and College Game Day is going to be here, and we're going to be doing it with returning players that are better and then new players coming in. I mean, we all would have said that's pretty cool. And I think that's what's happening. You got to give our players a lot of credit. It starts with those seniors and then our new guys coming in. But we don't take these things for granted. Last night I went out and personally thanked the students, and it was awesome, man. It was some of those kids were thanking me. I should thank you, and then the atmosphere today at College Game Day, but we're just getting started. And that's my message to anybody out there. Thanks for coming today. Let's do it again, senior night here in a couple days. And we're just getting started. I wish the outcome would have been different. Believe me, if there's anything I could have done, and I take a great responsibility how we kind of finished the game, if there's anything I could have done differently, I would have done that. So everybody in Lubbock could have won the day. But I think even though the scoreboard says we were 2 points short, I feel like in a lot of ways we did win today as we build the program.
Now, Coach, like you said, Zach's stat line doesn't matter, just the minutes. And every time he stepped on the court, the crowd went wild for him. You've been in his corner more than anybody over the last 2 months. How did it feel to watch him get to play and be back on the court?
That was awesome, man. Zach's worked so hard in the rehab process. Also stay in tune mentally, stay dialed in with the team. He gave himself a chance. Obviously today we didn't want to play him that many minutes, but with Justin's injury, Zach was doing a good job protecting the rim for us and some things. And, maybe that coaches make mistakes just like players. Maybe I should have played him a little bit less. But I was asking him every time, Zach, how's it feel? Are you okay? And he just looked at me right in the eyes and said, Coach, I'm fine if you need me. So a lot of respect for Zach. And I predict he'll play better as the season goes on. We got a lot of basketball left. So, we got to get Justin back. We got to keep working with Keenan. Zach showed today that he can be an impact. So I think, we got a lot of things to look forward to here in the next few weeks.
What was the exchange between you and Coach Self as he was exiting the media room and you were entering?
The toughest guy I know, or two of the toughest guys I know are here today, Eddie and Colin. And Colin's one of the toughest people I know, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Self. And I wanted Coach to meet Colin. So sorry for my emotion today, but when basketball is fine, no problem. But when I think about guys like Eddie and Colin, I get emotional.
Coach, talk about the post game between Odiasi and Azubuike. Those are two huge guys, and it kind of looked like more of a street fight than a basketball game between them at times. Just how'd you think that matchup went?
Yeah, two great players. And Lawrence has competed for 2 full games with Azubuike, and I thought Lawrence played great tonight. He was dialed in. Kansas goes small ball when he comes out, and we're playing Lawrence, but then you get down, you're trying to score points. I would like to have played Lawrence more tonight. Of course, Tommy was playing great. But I thought Lawrence's his effort, his intensity, how hard he plays. Azubuike gets a lot of credit for who he is, and I think Lawrence is in that same neighborhood. I think the first time we played, Lawrence had like 12 and 8, and Azubuike had like 11 and 7. So I'm no mathematician, but that was good. And then tonight, I really don't know what the stat sheet said. I don't even need to look at it because I know Lawrence was a big factor for us tonight and played great.
Anything else? We got time for a couple more.
And Coach, at the game day this morning, you had your team wear those Team Luke shirts. Can you talk about that and the cause you're supporting?
Yeah, same thing. My man Eddie, my man Colin, and certainly everybody in Lubbock's man Luke. And so, there's some things that are greater than basketball and what the Siegel family's gone through and fighting for. And, Luke's such a fighter. Get videos of Luke all the time. The guy's he's just an inspiration to all of us. So it's our honor, a small thing we could do to wear the Team Luke shirts today. Luke's done so much more for us than we could ever do for him.
I was wondering what you thought of Devontae Graham as possibly the Big 12 Player of the Year and where he belongs nationally. And I was wondering if Zaire weren't busy today, do you think he could have given Jarrett's brother a run for his money in the Big 12 high jump?
Oh, and I don't do good with those double questions, man. I got like ADD. But the last question was about Trey. He's a special athlete, man. I don't know much about track and field. But, man, I love watching that guy jump. And I've talked to him a lot about how he gets himself mentally prepared to compete and stuff. But that's an elite guy. That's a guy I think is going to represent our country in the Olympics. Z is a guy that can float in the air and play in basketball like Zach. But I don't think either one of those guys could touch Trey in their sport. And then what was the first part? I'm sorry. Yeah, he's one of the top players in college basketball. He's one of the best shooters. He controls his team, plays smart, intelligent defense, stays out of foul trouble, then makes plays late in the game defensively. He's a great passer. He's somebody I have a lot of respect for because he's kind of come up the ranks. The story's well documented. He wasn't going to go to Kansas, and then I've got a little bit of that in my background. A lot of people told me what I can and can't do, and I'm sure Graham kind of got told that, and Graham said, well, let me just go do it myself. Could have left early to go to the NBA, came back to college for the right reasons. Always has a great demeanor, plays in front of atmospheres like this every game of his career and always kind of keeps his poise. He's a player that I have a lot of respect for. Player of the Year, I think there's several guys in our league. Keenan Evans is right there, and then Graham's certainly right there too. We all have a different opinion on what those awards mean, but I've always kind of thought that player needs to come from the team that wins the championship.
Chris, I had a double question too.
I'll try.
How many hours did you sleep last night?
Yeah, I
Or
don't.
did you?
Next question.
When did you know that Zach would be able to play today? When did you get the word that he's good to go?
I think, let's see, today's Saturday. I was told on Thursday that he was going to be able to kind of try to go through practice, and we'll see how he plays. Thursday in practice, no contact, just moving around and jumping. He looked great. And then Friday, basically, Zach told me, Coach, I'm playing. So that was an exciting thing, getting him out there. And I appreciate the fans and everybody recognizing him. We've had a special season, and we got a lot more to do and a lot more to come. But I've really tried to include Zach in this deal because this guy's one of the best players that have ever played at this school, and he's had a huge impact with our program and our team this year. And so it was just pretty cool to see him back out there. And so we'll get with the trainers and doctors right here when I leave this table, and we'll see how he's feeling, and we'll make a decision whether he can play Monday as well. But it looks like he's going to be able to help us here down the stretch.